Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another In the Bed with Gore. Well, that sounds weird. In this day and age of everybody being a little weirdo, I shouldn't say that, okay? I'm in bed. You're not. Get out of my house. Don't ever come back. Anyway, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm super tired. I had to turn the AC off and the fan for this one. So I'm sweating and then baby. Anyway, I am here to talk about a little movie called Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I am going to talk spoilers soon. Not yet. Soon. I will let everybody know when spoilers are coming. If I remember, I'll put a timestamp. We'll see. I'll try to remember what the timestamp is tomorrow. I'll figure it out. Anywho, so I saw Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday as of recording this, and I had some time to stew on it. I'm actually going to see it again tomorrow. Opinions could change. I might be like, meh, that was meh tomorrow. So I don't know. Who knows? But right now, I had a real good time with that movie, baby. It's nice to love a Marvel movie again. Love is a strong word, but right now I'm very happy with what I saw. I really enjoyed it. Had a good time. I laughed. I laughed. I got emotional here and there, but for the most part, I laughed. Some jokes didn't land, so I didn't laugh all the time. But I was impressed by like the action of the movie. I really like the action. Not so much the special effects. Some of the special effects were a little iffy. The movie has a lot of heart. Deadpool and Wolverine shine definitely in the movie. Everybody's expecting like a shit ton of cameos. I won't say if you're gonna get that or not. All I'm saying is that really should be in here for a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I mean, I'm assuming that's what most people are here for because people were like, "Oh my god, Deadpool, Wolverine," took a little while, but we finally got a new Deadpool movie, and we got that Wolverine baby too, and they're really good together, especially the acting, great chemistry. It takes a little while to really get there. I would say it takes probably a solid like 30 or so minutes until we really get those two like getting at each other. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's a really fun movie, and I enjoyed my time. It's violent as all hell. I gotta give Disney some credit here. They didn't pull punches. They made it rated R, and it wasn't like an Echo rated R. You know that fucking show? Remember that? Where it was TVMA, but that's the R. That's the equivalent of an R for TV. Where it's like you see a little bit of blood, and that's like about it. Yikes! Got it. This is rated TVMA, and then fucking there's like two splats of blood. Fuck off. That was a scam. 100% not scam, but that was just false advertising. That was bullshit because they were just like every trailer was like this is rated TVMA. That shit, come on. That shit wasn't anywhere near what we wanted. I mean, I guess technically because there was that amount of violence, TVMA would make sense, but fucking hell. Anyway, that show sucked. So, no, I only watched the first episode. But I saw all the violent moments later. I just wanted to see, and it's a very short video I watched. So, unless they lied, I guess that video could have lied, but I think everybody talked about it was bullshit TVMA. This is definitely rated R. There's moments where people get fucking jacked up. The first first 5 minutes of the movie, there's an action scene where people are getting blitzed. Now, there's a lot of CG blood, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I like seeing people get fucking murked. Like I'll do to you if you show up in my house again, you son of a bitch. So that was fun. So the action was really good there, especially later on. There's some really good action scenes here and there. I will say, like, even though I do like the action, the finale, I guess technically there is an action scene towards the end, but it's not really the main bad guy they fight. It's weird. And the main one is kind of like it's a pretty cliche way to end a movie, I guess, let's just say. But it works for the most part. It's sweet. There's some choices I don't like, which I'll get into spoilers. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It has some problems. It has some flaws, that's for sure. Does it save the MCU? I wouldn't say that, but it saved it from just being mediocre for the last like little while. I would even say I probably like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 more than this, which came out last year. And I know that's technically an MCU movie, but like I consider it a James Gunn joint more than anything else. It's an MCU movie, I get it, but still. I enjoyed it. So let's get to spoilers now. 5:45. There you go. I'll try to remember that in this old noggin here. Stab myself in the eye. Let's get to it. Let's go. First of all, my theater was pretty good for the most part. They were like screaming at every single cameo because there's shit ton of cameos, unsurprisingly. You already know there is. But the quality of the cameos, I was not expecting. I was expecting all right, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting all the actors from Fantastic Four to show up. I really was expecting Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, considering he did a cameo for The Flash. I thought he'd be in it. We'll get to if he was. I was expecting Chris Evans as Human Torch. I was definitely expecting that. That was going to be... And I already had like the whole bit planned out. Like there's going to be a part where like, yeah, there you go. There's Cap. And then it ends up being Human Torch. I knew that was going to happen. And guess what? I'll just say it right here. It happened. Exactly how I thought. I should have made a predictions video. Fuck. I totally should have, because that one I would have nailed. I probably wouldn't have nailed anything else. Actually, no, because I did predict a couple other ones. Well, not really predict. I think they got leaked, and I heard about them. Anyway, I expected Jennifer Garner as Elektra, because that one leaked. That's one of the ones I'm referring to. I wanted Blade to show up, Wesley Snipes' Blade. Not too sure if I was really expecting it, but I wanted it to happen. Who else? I thought maybe there was a possibility that Ben Affleck would show up as Daredevil, not Batman. Yeah, it was pretty low. So the ones I expected, I think that's pretty much it. Unless I'm missing something. I was expecting maybe some more X-Men cameos, just from random ones like Famke Jensen or something like that. As Jean Grey, and maybe what's the name of Scott Summers. But for the most part, I was expecting like a shit ton besides the ones we already knew about, and then maybe some weird ones like from the MCU itself. First cameo we get, I guess, our first role we get is straight up Happy Hogan. He's just there, and Deadpool really wants to join the Avengers. Like, that sounds like it should be funny, but it's actually kind of building up the plot of him, like, having worth or something. Like, that's pretty much his whole character development. I'm talking about Deadpool, obviously. He wants to just have worth. And, of course, now, the MCU is a part of the Deadpool, and Deadpool's part of the MCU. So he's just like, all right, well, now I can actually, like, go and contact these fuckers. And they kind of just slip Deadpool in there without even, like, making it make sense, because him and all of his friends are just there. I guess, no, actually, they might kind of, no, they do some time travel stuff because they have Cable's time travel belt, which they explain what happened to that, which I thought was funny. Which also, I think, was maybe a reference to Thanos, because he said, like, after I was done using it, I destroyed it, which is exactly what Thanos did after he used the Infinity Stones. Yeah, just get Thanos. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. That was funny. I think he might have even referenced Thanos at one point too. I don't know. Yeah, the first one was Happy Hogan. I was also expecting Josh Brolin as Cable. I guess I could say that didn't happen, sadly. I was also expecting Thomas Jane as the Punisher. I was expecting that. Didn't happen. I thought he would show up, and I thought that'd be like a surprise one. Like, it was like, what? But it didn't happen. Yeah. So. Anyway, that was the first cameo. Let me see what else happened after that. There was a couple. There was the really cool one I never expected. All right, so they do the whole like variants of Wolverine. So you have Hugh Jackman has a bunch of different Wolverines from the comics. You have the one with the one arm, one with the obvious like huge callback to a classic Wolverine. I can already feel it. I'm not sure, but it has he had like a cool looking suit, and he's about to fight the Hulk, which I thought was cool. I wish we saw a little bit more of that fight. They just kind of teased it. Maybe they're teasing it because they're like, let's save it for later when we actually do it, full on, baby, because that shit's gonna be sick. But yeah, so we get all those. It's cool, whatever. And then the last, well, not the last one, the second to last one. The last one's the Wolverine we know. The second to last one, you immediately okay, this guy looks really jacked, and immediately I'm like, all right. This was my thought process. Someone recently said Henry Cavill was rumored, but my brain was like, I was thinking of another Jack dude, which is funny because he was also in Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I was thinking of fucking the Jack Reacher actor. I was like, oh, is it gonna be Reacher? I forgot his name. Alan Rich. Is it Richardson or Richson? I don't remember. Is it Alan? So, anyway, and then it kind of started turning. I was like, nah, that's Henry Cavill. And then even fucking Deadpool was just like, oh, Wolverine? Fuck yeah. And even in the credits, it's he's labeled as Wolverine. And you know what? I think that was on purpose just to see like how people would feel about that. And yeah, I heard rumors about I want to say it was Taron Egerton and Daniel Radcliffe also being variants, but they were not in there. But yeah, that was pretty good. I really liked that. That was fun. Later on, we get more cameos, of course. You know the big ones like Laura, or yeah, it was Laura, right? What's the other one we know? I guess Electro, we already kind of knew because that one leaked. We know Sabretooth, Toad, Pyro is not really a cameo. He's actually a supporting character. We know a lot of the other ones, but the ones that fucking blew me away, oh my god. And I really enjoyed it, even though I feel like they could have done more with it. All right, before we get to those, the main ones. Okay, before we get to those, there's also a lot of variants of Deadpool. Of course, you had Lady Deadpool, which was actually confirmed to be Blake Lively, even though you don't see her face. She talks like twice, and I was like, I don't know, is that her? I'm sure it wasn't her under the mask and stuff. Maybe it was. Who knows? But she does talk, and in the credits it does say it was her. In the credits it also says that a couple of the other Deadpools, there's a cowboy Deadpool who, when he started talking, I was like, that sounds familiar. And in the credits it said it was Matthew McConaughey. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. There's a couple other cameos, like from people, I can't remember who they were, but there was some fun ones there. Dogpool's great, of course. Ryan Reynolds also plays another version of Deadpool. That we see like a handsome Deadpool, so we see him with no mask on. He's like, oh, I'm beautiful, you know. He also has no regeneration factor, which I thought was really funny. At a certain point, that's for sure. Yeah, all right, now let's get to the main ones. Big ones here. I lost my fucking shit at this scene because I was like, I had to hold together. I really did, because I didn't make noises, but it was like one of those things where I'm like fucking ugh. So I made a little bit of noise, but the other people were too. First reveal. All right, later on, Deadpool and Wolverine, they get knocked out and brought to somewhere. They're fighting each other so much in that car. You probably see that scene in the trailer. They're fighting each other because they have a disagreement or whatever, and they just fight each other so much where they just pass out pretty much, because they can't die, but they get tired, I guess, so they pass out. And then they wake up in a place, and immediately I was like, oh, this is obviously going to be a bunch of cameos. Immediately, first thing they pass by is a bunch of swords on the wall. I'm like, no fucking way. So Elektra comes in, and everyone's like, yeah. And then right after Elektra, I want to say it was right after Elektra, fucking Wesley Snipes' Blade. And I just got to say this right here. I was like, fuck yeah, because I grew up on the Blade movies, loved the first two Blade movies. I also kind of like the third one. I'm sorry, I do. I watched the shit out of those, so when he showed up, I was like, yeah! I was like, yay! Also, later on, I just gotta say right here, I was thinking to myself, man, if he says some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill, I'd probably shit my pants. Sorry, that theater. Everybody was wondering, oh, what's that smell? Guess what? That was me. Whoops. Because he doesn't say some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. He says some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. That was an improvised line from Wesley Snipes for the first movie. And first time I heard that, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, I get it. At first I was like, what? I love that line though. That's such a stupid ass line. I love it. And they put it in the movie. They knew. They knew. They knew. Anyway, that was cool. Blade was amazing. That was my favorite. And then something else happened. I was like, no fucking way they did that. And at first I giggled a little bit because it kind of looked a little ridiculous at first, but then I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Fucking Channing Tatum walks in as Gambit. And I was like, no fucking way did they do that. I would never guess that. What the fuck? I didn't even have a thought in my brain that that would happen. That was fucking incredible. So he comes in full Gambit gear and hair and everything and the fucking Cajun ass accent. This is the year of Gambit, bro. Hey, y'all you Gambit heads? This is the year of Gambit. We got him amazingly well in X-Men 97. And then we have him here who, hey, shout out to Channing Tatum. He finally got to play him. If you don't know, he was supposed to play Channing. He was supposed to play Channing Tatum. He was supposed to play Gambit. I mean, everybody knows that, I'm sure, like 10 years ago or so. Maybe even more. But, yeah, it never happened, sadly. But guess what? It happened now. Channing Tatum is Gambit. And you know what? I like that Cajun accent he had. It was goofy. And the movie knew it was goofy. They used it perfectly. I'd say that joke went on maybe a little bit too long. So maybe not perfectly. At first, it was perfect. He's talking, nobody can understand. Deadpool's like, what the fuck? I have no idea what you just said, bro. He's like, can you fucking speak? Can you, like, someone translate that shit? The only thing I think that joke would have been better if Deadpool just, like, put some, like, he like, all right, I don't want to write the movie. It would have been really funny if he's like, what the fuck? And then he like, somehow put subtitles on the screen for everybody. That would have been funny. They should have did that. They should call me. Hey, call me. I got good ideas. How about Deadpool and Wolverine? They fucking kiss. Didn't do that. Oops. How about a variant where they're just gay? You ever think of that? They just fucking slop it up. How about two lady Deadpools, scissor? You think of that, huh? Oh, scissor me timbers, you know? And then one kicks him in the pussy. He's like, he kicked me right in my pussy. It's a South Park reference. Anyway. But yeah, I lost my shit at Blade, but the Gambit one was so fucking like out of nowhere. Right after that, of course, Laura shows up, which would have been a fucking amazing reveal if they did not fucking spoil it. What the fuck? Watching the movie now, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you spoil that last week? It would have been so good. Anyway, so yeah, X-23. Yeah, I mean, all right. So now the cameos are done. Let's talk about some of the other stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Immediately, I was really fucking annoyed at the movie, and I know it was doing it just to piss me off and everybody else that loves Logan. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't make me laugh, so I'm not even like upset to the point where I'm like I can't fucking enjoy it because I was having a good time. But the beginning is just like they say like, how are we gonna not desecrate Logan? You know, I mean, how are we not gonna do it? I mean, like they're talking about how they're gonna try not to, and then Deadpool's just like, nah, fuck it, and he literally digs up the fucking grave at the end of Logan, that with the X and all that fucking amazing scene. He digs up the grave because he thinks like, oh, he's not gonna be dead. What the fuck? He has a healing factor. How the fuck can he possibly be dead? I guess he just thinks he's underneath the dirt the entire time. I guess like if Wolverine's that weak, he can't just push the dirt off him. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a lot of dirt. It's 6 feet of dirt, you know. So, yeah, I don't even think a Wolverine can do it. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, all right. That's you know, if you really believe that, I guess it makes sense. But yeah, he digs him up, and immediately, I actually love Ryan Reynolds acting here. He's just like, yeah, fuck. He just like loses it. It's really good, smashing the fucking shovel against the tight. The adamantium skeleton of Logan, which we see full on, no flesh, completely rotted, deteriorated, nothing left, just the adamantium skeleton. I was like, oh my god, and I'm like, well, maybe he'll rebury him. A bunch of TVA losers show up because the TVA fucking sucks. I don't like Loki. Sorry to all the Loki fans. Don't like them. I hate the TVA. Feel like they ruined a lot of shit. Stupid ass fucking organization. I don't like them. And you know what? That's when I started enjoying it, because even though Deadpool starts using the corpse of Wolverine, Logan, as a weapon, he starts breaking bones off of it, which I didn't really understand because of the adamantium, but whatever. Well, actually, I think like that rib was like already smashed. I guess it makes sense. I mean, he's getting older, so I guess maybe the metal's getting more brittle. I don't know how that fucking works. Like, I was even like wondering, like, how the fuck does that make sense in Logan? Because like he gets smashed against a tree, as they say, he got tree fucked to death in this movie, which was funny. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. I never made sense to me. Like, what the fuck? Like, whatever. Anyway, maybe it makes sense in that movie. Maybe they said that his adamantium is also brittle. I thought it was just his healing factor was not working anymore. You know, but he still had the skeleton, all the ribs or whatever. Anyway, it's supposed to be like the toughest metal, so I guess maybe it just broke. I don't know. I guess it could technically break, right? But you know, it's not indestructible, I don't think, but it's like extremely hard. So, just like me right now. Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, that whole sequence. I'm not gonna lie, is set to NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye." Wait, is that NSYNC? Yeah, that's NSYNC. Someone just commented on my video saying, "Walter, wait, fuck you, Daniel." I hope you're watching this video. You shit. I just saw that. Anyway, it just popped up on my phone as I'm recording this. But yeah, so anyway, there's a fight sequence where he kills all the TVA with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, which is shattering every time he hits them and stuff, and it's all done with NSYNC "Bye Bye Bye" in the background. And I was just like, this is a pretty good sequence. There's a lot of violence, a lot of blood, a lot of clever kills and stuff with the adamantium skeleton. He's throwing pieces of Logan at everybody, and I'm just like, fuck, they desecrated Logan. I'm talking about the movie, the character. That will leave a bad taste in my mouth, but this is fun. I can't even because Logan's like, I think one of the best comic book movies ever. And now watching the ending of Logan, I'll just be like, well, and then Deadpool came up a few years later and fucking desecrated his corpse. Oh no, I'll never be able to think that Johnny Cash song playing at the end when a man comes around. I'll just be thinking of fucking Logan getting desecrated. Vladimir Schlotsky, fuck you. What does that even make sense? So you just put that there. What the fuck does that mean? Thanks, Daniel. He just typed that too. It's like he knows I'm fucking recording or something. Anyway, so that sequence was cool. There's a lot of really cool sequences. Later on, there's a sequence where Deadpool and Wolverine, which, by the way, that's a sequence. This is the sequence where Wolverine finally puts on his fucking the mask, and it was real. That was like the biggest, like, woo, in the theater, which is crazy because, you know, Blade and all that. He puts it on and then fights a bunch of variants of Deadpool. So this is the cowboy one, the floating head pool. You got all these other Deadpools there, which is fun. Lady Pool's there. And that sequence is cool. I think some of the special effects are a little weak there. They do try to do some long takes, and they're pretty good for the most part. It's a lot of violence, and of course, you know, a lot of little jokes here and there and stuff, and sight gags. And I thought that was really good. But I think the opening action scene was probably the best. There's also an action scene later where Blade, Gambit, what's her name again? The Electra and Laura, and of course Deadpool and Wolverine go into, oh my god, I just forgot a cameo. Fuck me. I'll go back. I'm sure everybody's like, you're not talking about that one? I just remembered, my dumbass. But anyway, there's a fight there, and I thought it was okay, that fight. It wasn't like amazing, but it was pretty good. Just watching Blade and all these people fight, and like Blade, that's when Blade says some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill. Oh god, it's so good. There's some good stuff. Oh, you get to see some good ass Gambit stuff. You get to see him throw the cards. The cards look great. You got the staff thing. That's really good. The Electra stuff's good too. Don't get me wrong, everything's good. Laura, whatever. But that was really good. Oh, Laura puts on the shades from Logan. I thought that was great. Let me go back though. I totally forgot about, because I feel like I already talked about it because I mentioned it before I started talking heavily about this. There's the big moment. The first big moment, I would say, is, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool, all right, for people that don't know the plot, I guess, Deadpool is tasked by the TVA to pretty much, like, move over to the MCU, I guess, right? That's right. There you go. That's the explanation how he's in the MCU. But wait, hold on. The movie starts off with him talking to Happy Hogan. But don't the TVA move him to... Wait, hold on. Now I'm confused. Wait a minute. Oh, that was a time travel thing, right? Wait, no, it doesn't make any sense. Time travel. I don't know. Fuck it. Never mind. I'm trying to think because the TVA moves him to the MCU, I believe, right? Which, by the way, isn't that like an incursion thing? You can't do that or something? Wasn't that established in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which was fucking stupid anyway. I don't know. Maybe I missed something there. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little tired going into this. I had a long day and I didn't have a lot of sleep. I remember everything, the big moments, of course. I'm seeing it again tomorrow. So yeah. Anyways, so Deadpool wants to save. Oh, by the way, if he moves to the MCU universe, then his planet must be eradicated. Of course he doesn't want to do that. So he agrees with the TVA, but he doesn't actually do that. He uses one of those little teleport like things that they have in the TVA to go and find a Wolverine to be like the catalyst for the world, because his world's about to go kaput because there's no Wolverine, and that was like the main guy or something. It's a little weird. It's like you always have to have like the main hero, I guess, of a world. And if they're gone, then the whole world's gone. I guess if like what it's trying to say is that once your big character is gone, then who gives a shit about the franchise anymore? So let's just eradicate it, I guess, is what they're trying to say there, which is funny. I guess they're pretty much saying like, yeah, after Endgame, who gives a fuck? Is slow, kind of what they're saying, which is funny actually. They bring up a lot of like, yeah, the movies have been sucking lately, which I thought was really funny. There's been a lot of jokes like that. But yeah, it's yeah. So they go to the when you get hit by the vaporized stick from the TVA, they go to that other world with the desert and all that stuff. And the first person they see is a hooded figure, and guess who it is? It's Chris Evans, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's Cap! Oh my god!" But guess who it actually is? It's Chris Evans. But it's not Captain America. I bet you'll never guess. That's right. It's his character. It's its character from Push. Remember Push? I actually like that movie. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's his character from the one thing where he's on fire or some shit. Whatever. He gets his skin ripped off anyway. Who gives a fuck? Fuck him. Anyway, moving on. So no, I'm just kidding. He is the Human Torch, and I was like, aha, there you go. That's the one thing I predicted right. Woo, let's go. Boop, 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 boo, doo, doo, doo. Woohoo! So anyway, and then he like flame on, and he jumps up in the sky, and then Pyro's there, so he sucks all the fire out of him, and then he's just like, what? And he falls and hits his nuts, then hits his head, and immediately I'm like, well, he's probably dead, I guess. I don't know if he has superhuman strength. I mean, I guess if you could deal with being on fire all the time, I guess getting hit in the head and the crotch is fine. But yeah, he's still alive. Deadpool then rats on him because they meet up with the fucking main villain, who's like OP as fuck, by the way. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know how you're losing this fight. Can you just go whoop, and like the skin flies off people's bodies and shit? Which wouldn't kill Wolverine or Deadpool, but it would really fucking hurt, and I'm sure, and they'll be on the ground like, well, it might kill Wolverine, actually. It might kill Deadpool, too. I'm not sure, actually. Now, Deadpool can, like, regrow from pretty much anything. Yeah, because he blew up in Deadpool 2. So he could just keep regrowing, pretty much. Yeah, I don't think it would kill him. Unless you could just, like, vaporize him completely, I guess. And I guess maybe Logan's the same way. I mean, he has the same treatment, I assume. So anyway, so yeah, Human Torch is in it, and that was a fun cameo. Chris Evans was like, bleh. Anyway, so he talks. Well, Deadpool like rats him out about talking shit against the main villain, and he's like, no, and then she kills him by literally removing all of his skin, and his organs and shit just fall down, which is probably the most brutal thing I've seen in any Deadpool movie. So shout out to Disney for proving that. That was really fucking brutal. Definitely the most brutal thing in this movie, and there's a lot of really good kills. So yeah, what else is there? There's a lot of really funny humor jokes and stuff. Humor jokes. I'm tired. There's a lot of good jokes. The ending is a little contrived. It's just like, oh, we have to be a family and friends and stuff. And also, I feel like that even though there's good chemistry between Deadpool and Wolverine, I do still think it was a little rushed, them becoming friends. You know what I mean? It makes sense, but it feel like it's not like I just out of nowhere, we're friends now. But it did feel like it was a little rushed. There's some really good moments with Logan, though. This Logan, obviously, as you saw in the trailer, like let down his world. He kind of like... He didn't do any... Well, no, I guess he did do something horrible. But, like, he left the X-Men, and then they got captured by the humans and killed. And he wasn't there to help. He felt really fucking shitty about it and then killed a ton of people, some people that were innocent. We didn't really get a visual about that. But anyway, he's now just drinking himself into a stupor, which we've seen Wolverine do a lot. Yeah, so he feels really shitty. And there's some really good moments. There's one where he talks to, what's her name? Laura. But there's also a really good moment where he's talking to the main villain and she's in his head and he's like really getting emotional. Hugh Jackman's a fantastic actor. I don't know if you knew this. Ryan Reynolds was good too. But Hugh Jackman really was fucking great in this. I really enjoyed this movie. There's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of nice little cameos that sure don't really mean much in the long run, but I equate it to like if they met a bunch of freedom fighters or something. You know how like a lot of movies have like the freedom fighter characters that show up. That's what I equate some of these cameos as, you know, like Blade and then Gambit and Elektra and stuff. I equate it to something like that. Also, the way they end it made it very clear that Laura will be back. And I, considering how it ends, also, I'm assuming Gambit, even maybe Wesley Snipes' Blade, Electro, they'll kind of be back. Also, I gotta say, the ending was good. The fucking scene in the credits, they do a montage, and I'm not even gonna fucking lie, I teared up. They did a nice tribute montage to the 20th Century Fox like Marvel movies from the past 25 years. And that choked me up. I'm not gonna lie, because I grew up on those movies, so I was just like, man, they're showing like behind the scenes, and it's played with it had the song was like, oh, Jude cry. Wait, was it that song? Shit, I think it was that song, right? Wait, was it that song? Oh fuck, and I don't remember. Anyway, the montage was really good. It was just like a lot of behind the scenes footage from the X-Men movies and Fantastic Four, I believe, was in there and stuff like that. It was really nice, and it really showed that they gave a fuck about those movies, and it's nice like to say kind of goodbye, I guess. That's why I didn't really mind the cameos. Usually, like the Doctor Strange cameos could go fuck themselves because they kind of ruined characters and just made them fucking stupid, and they were just there to get killed. Here, they I guess technically die, but they have a heroic send off. But they come back too. They die and then they come back. It's weird. It's a TVA shit. Yeah, I really like that. The post credit scene is also really funny. I won't talk about that. We don't need to over explain that. If you've seen the movie, you know it was really funny. I really like that. He got what was coming to him. Just say. Yeah, I liked it a lot. The villain itself was weak, but I actually thought the actress did a really good job, so shout outs to her. It's just a weak villain, kind of just there to be a villain. They could have did more with the whole, like, her being the sister to Xavier, but it was fine. I thought she did good. I thought some of the other side characters, like Sabretooth, is there just to die 5 seconds later, which was funny, I guess. But, like, Pyro, I feel like Pyro, they could have did a little bit more with him. Also, some of the other ones like Lady Deathstrike and like what's the Razzle Dazzle? What the fuck is the red demon guy? Who's I think the father of Nightcrawler? Juggernaut. They kind of didn't do a lot with those characters. Like Juggernaut gets beheaded. They kind of use because his helmet's similar to Magneto's thing, so they use that against I forgot her name. Not Magneto, Xavier's sister. Yeah, it was a really fun movie. I had a really good time, and there was some fun stuff to be had. So I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure I'm going to talk about it a million times in the next like couple weeks with like a bunch of people. So anything else I want to talk about? They put Blade back in. Let's go. That was fun. The Wolverine costume was good. I like that. All that stuff was great. Those two are great together. I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it. I want the next Deadpool movie. They won't do it, but I want the next Deadpool movie to focus on a lot of the characters that we didn't get this time. And I know like Weasel will never show up again, because TJ Miller's a weirdo. But I would like to have a character like that, someone who's just got like, and I want more like Dopender and like what's her name, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus. I want way more of next time. I want Cable to come back too. Like, I don't know. These are all characters I kind of want to see again more so. Blind Owl. She got a pretty sizable enough role. Oh, and his girlfriend. Oh, I did. Oh, that's one thing I didn't like. I really didn't like what they did with him and his girlfriend. They're fiancés, and they kind of went on hard times, and then they're not together again. And I think they're kind of hinting at the end that they will get together again. It's just unnecessary. I think. I know it's supposed to build Deadpool's character, but I found it to be unnecessary. But overall, I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it like 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Good stuff. Anyway, that's it. Bye. Oh.